Continuing now, Charles Krauthammer from Washington. A viewer warning. We're going to play you a soundbite that might offend you. So, comedian Larry Wilmore, who made some remarks at the Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday, has riled up the politically correct crowd.
Mr. President, when a black man can lead the entire free world, words alone do me no justice. So, Mr. President, if I'm going to keep it 100, yo, Barry, you did it, my nigga.
All right. Were you offended by that, Charles?
No, I wasn't. Juan Williams was, and perhaps he's got a bigger claim to making a statement about that. Look, we have an unspoken rule in our country. You don't make fun of other people, you don't call them names, but you can do it for your own ethnic group. Italians about Italians, Irish about Irish, Jews about Jews, African Americans about African Americans. Now, Juan's objection is that he doesn't accept that in this particular case, and he said he felt degraded and offended by it. And I think it's part of a larger issue that he has with a lot of the black cultural figures who use the N-word, who also, particularly in their music, have a lot of misogyny and use words that are very disrespectful of women. And he thinks it degrades and coarsens the culture of black America. And I respect that. So I understand we have the unspoken rule. You and I are not terribly offended, but I can understand African Americans who might be.
Well, you know, I didn't weigh in on whether I was offended or not.
Well, you tell me. Did I guess wrong?
No. I wasn't offended because I felt that Wilmore did it in an affectionate way. It was almost an homage. Very little offends me. I have to say I'm not a politically correct individual, as everybody on earth knows. But when Wilmore said it, it wasn't like a rapper who's using it in a way that's denigrating. It was more of, you know, I'm proud of you. Then they cut away to President Obama, who laughed. Was that appropriate? I think so, just to be kind to Wilmore. He didn't want to embarrass Wilmore. But I say it's a personal decision, Charles. I think everybody should make up their own mind on that.
So basically, in guessing about you, I got it right.
Yes.
Do you acknowledge my psychiatric insights?
Yes, I do. I mean,
good,
I am
great.
so shallow, though, that that's not really an accomplishment, that you could pretty much guess everything that I'm going to do.
It's true. It was fishing in very shallow waters. True.
Here, Hillary Clinton gets in trouble with the politically correct crew. Roll it.
I have a lot of experience dealing with men who sometimes get off the reservation in the way they behave and how they speak. I'm not going to deal with their temper tantrums or their bullying or their efforts to try to provoke me.
So off the reservation has angered some people.
Well, that's lunacy, since it has no real association. But I do think, let me speak in defense of what some call political correctness. There are words that we shouldn't use. And it isn't a matter of being politically correct. It's a matter of being respectful. I'll give you an example. The word Negro. We don't use the word anymore because its meaning has changed over the decades, and it is now considered condescending and disrespectful. It was not so in the 1960s. In the I Have a Dream speech, it was used 15 times by Martin Luther King. It was the accepted and the respected way to characterize what we now call African Americans or blacks. You have to recognize that words change their meanings. I came out mildly against the retention of the word Redskins for the Washington football team. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think people who want to keep it are racist. But I do think it's a word that perhaps in the 20s, when the team began, was not offensive.
It didn't have the same connotation.
And it is now. So simply as a matter of respect, you drop it.
And I think that's a good message to everybody. If what you say will injure, don't say it. Be
exactly.
respectful.
It's called respect and politeness and being civil.
All right. Charles, thank you very, very much. Respectful, polite, being civil, absolutely.
And no charge for the psychiatric services.
Poster boy right here.